Deadly stabbing just north of the Central Experimental Farm. Ottawa police investigating the first homicide of the year. Good afternoon. This is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan. Two people are facing murder charges after a man was stabbed to death in the Carlington neighbourhood last night, an incident that has left the community shaken. Emergency responders were called to the 1400 block of Mayview Avenue just after 7 p.m. CTV's Katie Griffin was at the scene earlier today and joins us live in studio with more. Katie.
Well, Stefan, as you mentioned, it is the first homicide of the year in the city. The victim has been identified as 28-year-old Sean Chalice Etoff of Brantford, Ontario. Ottawa police remaining at the scene today. Ottawa paramedics say they were called to a stabbing around 7 o'clock last night at an apartment building on Mayview Avenue. They say they transported the victim to hospital in critical condition. He later died of his injuries. Here's what one area resident saw last night.
So I looked out on my balcony, saw a bunch of cops all over my street, a bunch of lights over here on Mayview, and a bunch of police around.
41-year-old Steve Vivian of Ottawa and 19-year-old Anthony Meredith of Kitchener have both been charged with second-degree murder. A 41-year-old Ottawa woman was also arrested this afternoon, but so far no charges have been laid against her. Police would not say if the victim and accused were known to each other or speculate on a motive. Anyone with information is asked to contact police. Stefan.
All right, CTV's Katie Griffin reporting live for us. Thank you, Katie. Now to the latest when it comes to the ongoing transit debacle. With no end in sight to the issues on LRT Line 1 and hundreds of bus trips still being cancelled every week, councillors and riders are asking for some sort of compensation. CTV's Caitlin Wilson joins us live from Leeds Station tonight with more on this. Caitlin.
Yeah, Stefan, things aren't too bad here right now at Leeds Station. There's been a steady stream of people coming in and out, but I took a peek inside. There's no major problems, but I was here earlier talking with several people who say they've been dealing with crowded platforms, which has led to a lot of pushing and shoving, which has led to missed trains, which means they've either been left in the cold. Some say they've even given up and walked depending on where they were going, or just called a cab altogether. But mostly they say they're frustrated and want accountability, and now some councillors are calling for the same. At Wednesday's council meeting, councillors Sean Menard and Sean Devine introduced a motion asking OC Transpo to explore compensating riders when service breaks down, pointing to cities like Toronto, which has passed similar motions looking at refunds for riders who are delayed 15 minutes or longer. As for what that could look like here in Ottawa, councillors say that could look like refunds, discounts, or credits.
All I'm asking is that OC Transpo go and look at measures. They could come back with a program that could look at other ways to fund this. It wouldn't necessarily have to be from the OC Transpo budget. There could be any other number of ways to create some kind of fund that might cover that. But ultimately, my goal is that this kind of accountability framework would not cost a single thing.
And the mayor disagrees, saying transit needs investment, not added cost, as OC Transpo has a $47 million hole in its budget. Councillors are expected to vote on the motion at their next council meeting on February 3rd. As for when all LRT service is expected to resume to normal, well, there's no clear timeline. Stefan?
All right, CTV's Caitlin Wilson keeping an eye on this for us tonight from Lee's Station. Thank you. A store owner in Orleans is cleaning up after a car drove through a business overnight. Photos captured at the scene show a car through the front window of a cell phone repair shop on Innes Road. Based on the image, it looks as though the car reversed, jumping the curb and crashing through the shop's entrance. It happened right beside the Moose McGuire's pub near Mer Bleu Road. There were no reported injuries. Two people are facing multiple charges in connection with a string of overnight break-ins in the Byron Market this month. Police say several businesses in the area have been targeted since January 20th. One of those businesses is Beans and Barrels Cafe on William Street. Last week, the owners told CTV Ottawa thieves stole around $1,500 in cash. A 39-year-old man and 29-year-old woman were arrested yesterday, and police say more charges could be laid. A transport truck driver is facing hundreds of dollars in fines after an excavator fell off the back of a truck onto Highway 417 yesterday. Ontario Provincial Police were called to the westbound lanes near Moody Drive during the afternoon rush hour. Photos from the scene show the excavator blocking two lanes. That led to massive traffic backups in the area for hours. No one was injured. The driver received 2 tickets, resulting in more than $700 in fines. To the latest now on the federal public service job cuts, yet another department is laying off hundreds of employees. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency confirming to CTV News it plans to cut 587 positions over the next 3 years. Federal unions say employees were notified this week. Around 18,000 federal public servants have now received notices. Canada's premiers are in Ottawa meeting with the Prime Minister, and while talks were expected to center around trade and tariffs, another issue is in the spotlight. The focus for much of the day was on Canadian unity after a report came out about a meeting between White House officials and an Alberta separatist group, something many premiers were quick to denounce.
But to go to a foreign country and to ask for assistance in breaking up Canada, there's an old-fashioned word for that, and that word is treason.
It's unethical, I'm a little disappointed that they've done this, but this is an opportunity for Premier Smith to stand up and say enough is enough.
And here's what Alberta Premier Danielle Smith had to say when asked about the meeting today.
When you look at the polls, they suggest as many as 30% of Albertans have lost hope. That's about 1 million people, and I'm not going to demonize or marginalize a million of my fellow citizens when they've got legitimate grievances.
It's going to be exciting.
Smith also said she supports a, quote, sovereign Alberta within a united Canada. In the meantime, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is facing a consequential leadership review. The Conservative convention is now underway in Calgary with a leadership vote scheduled for tomorrow. The party's constitution says if a leader doesn't resign after an election loss, members are required to vote on their future as head of the party. It's widely expected Poilievre will survive the review. Weeks of harsh winter weather are taking a toll on city roads. It's that time of the season when potholes are starting to emerge and drivers are paying the price.
This is where the impact happened and the wheel is bent.
Repair shops say drivers are coming in with wheel damage from potholes, and repairs can cost thousands of dollars. The city says its priority is to patch the largest potholes as quickly as possible, starting on main roads.
I do see really deep ones, and as much as possible I avoid it. And touch wood, I've not had an experience where I had to change a tire because of that pothole.
I'm taking a lot of the same routes, so I'm seeing where they are and just figuring it out from there.
Depending on the speed in which you hit the pothole and or the depth of the pothole, it could cause some damage to your vehicle, suspension components or tires as well.
According to the city, pothole repairs will ramp up next week. You can report potholes to the city by calling 311.
We're using our sand salt mix on all our roads.
Coming up on CTV News at 5, the city of Brockville cutting back on sodium as the municipality deals with a shortage of salt for its roads. But let's go to Jackie Perez now, who is live at Rogers Centre, Ottawa, where the Sens Gala is taking place tonight. And Jackie, it's certainly much warmer in there than outside.
Yes, tonight temperatures are going to drop, and what a way to close out January that was full of snow, gray skies, and very frigid temperatures. And tonight will be no different. It actually prompted a cold warning in effect for really all of eastern Ontario, really for southern Ontario as well, where wind chill values for here will be between -33 to -38. Yes, this could be a risk of frostbite moving through. The overnight lows about -25, but again, with that wind chill feeling closer to -35. Tomorrow, daytime high -13, but the morning wind chill values between -28 to -35. Temperatures right now, though, sitting around -15, -19 degrees. Still quite chilly, but temperatures will drop closer to midnight. Details and more in just a bit. Stefan.
Thank you, Jackie. All this cold weather is certainly a plus for the Winterlude artists creating ice sculptures. The 48th edition of the Winter Festival officially kicks off tomorrow. The main locations this year are Confederation Park here in Ottawa and Jacques Cartier Park in Gatineau. A live check on traffic right now. The 417 westbound is slow from Bronson to Moody. There's a collision at Moody. Also on Parkdale off-ramp, there's a crash there as well. That's creating some backups in the eastbound lanes of the Queensway. It's slow from Bronson to Innis, and 174 eastbound is slow from the split to Montreal Road. You're watching CTV News at 5. Welcome back to CTV News at 5. According to a new poll from Nanos Research, grocery costs now outweigh concerns about housing costs for many Canadians. Today's radio question of the day is asking, what's your most shocking expense?
Most shocking expense would have to be rent and groceries. I'm a diabetic and a bariatric patient. I had gastric bypass surgery almost 10 years ago. So I'm on a fairly strict diet, and, you know, every morsel counts with me. Just the price of food is just atrocious.
Kirsty Cameron is here, and certainly we feel and can identify with listener Gordon there. You know, a boy has to eat, but it's really expensive these days, Kirsty.
Yeah, well, I know personally, I'm not on a strict diet like that, but, you know, going to the store, the cost of fresh berries, I just won't do it. I'll only do frozen. Okay. But we do eat a lot of produce at my house, and, you know, we try to eat healthy, and that really does add up. But I'll tell you, the most shocking expense for our family this week was when my husband paid $35 for 5 hours of parking. Not a full day, not even getting there in the thick of the morning commute. 5 hours in the afternoon to park in the parliamentary precinct. I mean, like, I cannot get over that. That's wild.
That's redonkulous that it's not a day rate.
Pardon me, redonkulous.
Sorry, yes.
Wow.
It came out for sure.
Yeah.
And, you know, speaking of food, I think, you know, when we're paying for convenience, those apps, the delivery apps, sometimes I'm like, how did this double in price for the meal?
I know, and I also don't do that either, okay? I run a tight ship at my
Smarter
place.
than I am.
Just to bridge, though, for a second, you know, you mentioned the cost of things and what is outlandish. The crazy part is that for people who work downtown, if you want to take public transit, that's $4.10 or $4.15 a pop. But look at the level of service you're getting on OC Transpo. Sorry, just had to shoehorn that in.
Yeah.
It's not like people who don't want to pay for parking
have another choice.
No, I mean,
option.
look at the other choice. The other choice is what? Standing, waiting for a bus that may not come. Or a train that's miniature. Have you seen the size of these trains? It's like a joke when they roll up to the station. It's like a little mini train, a little baby train.
No, you got stuck the other day.
Oh, I'm on there. Let me tell you, I'm on there. It feels like you're in a booming metropolis because the train is so full, but it's just because it's so small.
Definitely. Thank you, Chrissy. That's a mic drop moment if I ever heard one. You can join the conversation and leave a comment through the Talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app. You can listen live to Christy Cameron on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 2 to 6. And now watch Christy on YouTube. Subscribe to the CFRA channel. It's been a busy winter for City Crews. The snow started early in November and hasn't stopped. And although here in Ottawa, there is no road salt shortage, that's not the case in Brockville. That city is now trying to conserve its remaining supply. CTV's Peter Sperling was in Brockville today and has more on the situation. Peter.
Stefan, I'm inside of a City of Brockville snowplow truck where the operators here are using salt and sand because of a shortage. Brockville making the switch from using just salt to treat roads. It's one of the latest municipalities in the province experiencing a shortage of road salt. There aren't any further deliveries expected, so crews are mixing salt with sand.
We're experiencing some salt shortages as far as the supply goes, and we've had to pivot to a salt-sand mixture to stretch the material out to get to the end of the season is what we're trying to achieve here.
The municipality says the reason for the shortage, many snowfall events this season. Now, as for Ottawa, we have a sufficient supply of road salt, according to city officials. Stefan, this pile of salt behind me, well, that is it for Brockville. Most of it will be combined with sand. Stefan.
Thank you, Peter. Coming up on CTV News at 5, Ottawa travelers will soon be able to fly direct to more Canadian cities. We'll have the details on Porter's new nonstop flight destinations shortly. Here's what else you need to know. This one is for foodies in the capital. The Canadian Culinary Championship is taking place this weekend. The country's best chefs are in town competing for the top prize. The event gets underway tomorrow at the Rogers Centre, Ottawa.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barhaven Ford. Get Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Coming up tonight on CTV after the news, E-Talk starts at 7, George and Mandy's first marriage at 7:30, Next Level Chef at 8, 911 Nashville at 9, and Grey's Anatomy at 10. Taking another look at the weather now and the deep freeze that is settling over Ottawa and eastern Ontario, let's go back to Jackie at the Rogers Centre, Ottawa. Jackie.
Yes, Stefan, we're not quite done with the Arctic chill yet. We have at least one more day, and it has prompted a cold warning for not just here in eastern Ontario, but pretty much for southern Ontario as well. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam, where temperatures are showing about -16, but temperatures will start to plummet in the next couple of hours. Again, a cold warning in place until tomorrow morning, where frigid temperatures are in the forecast. We've got wind chill factors between -33 to -38. Most of this will be in the early part of our day for tomorrow, and it could be a risk of frostbite, so make sure you bundle up. Now, taking a look at the next 24 hours, we are getting clear conditions for the most part. If you were missing that sunshine for the month of January, we will likely see more throughout our day for Friday. The thing is, though, temperatures in the morning will feel more like -35. It will warm up to about -13, but again, that wind chill feeling more like -22. We are in for a stretch of sunny skies, especially in the Seaway as well, -14 the daytime high. And as we look towards the valley, -13, there is still a chance of some flurries moving through. We've got northerly winds moving through as well, so it is going to be quite chilly. The daytime high for our Friday, -14. And a reminder, it is the first day of Winterlude, so if you are partaking at the activities tomorrow evening, make sure to bundle up and layer up. The overnight is going to be -20. The daytime high for Saturday, -12. I think the best time to come to Winterlude, it's going to be on Sunday, where -9 is going to be the daytime high. We've got lots of sunshine. Monday, we are going to start to peter out with those temperatures getting closer to the freezing mark. So we're going to average more -6, -7, Stefan. We are hanging out here at the Rogers Centre. It is the red carpet for the Sens Red, Black, and Gold Gala. Lots of the athletes have moved through. We've seen Alina Salmark, we've seen Brady Tkachuk, and many more. So we will be hoping to speak to one of the players in the 6 o'clock hour. So stay tuned.
All right, looking forward to that. Thank you, Jackie. Here's a look at the stories you're checking out right now on CTV News Ottawa.ca. Coming into our newsroom late this afternoon, we got this notice from Ottawa Bylaw. There was a coyote sighting in Canada, and they're just warning homeowners not to put out feed. It appears as though the coyote was drawn to feed that was put out for maybe smaller critters like chipmunks or squirrels, but it can certainly cause coyotes and attract them as well. Coming up on CTV News at 5.
What do you think of the view up here?
It's pretty awesome, yeah. A little bit colder up there, but yeah, it's super cool to see it.
Ottawa 67's players trade their skates for firefighting gear ahead of a fundraising game at TD Place, where Ottawa Police and Ottawa Fire will meet on the ice. Today's cheapest gas price can be found in the McEwen on Fallowfield Road at 119.6 cents for a liter of regular. And another live check on traffic. We know that things are very busy in the westbound lanes. If you are headed towards Moody or out towards Bell's Corners, things are busy starting around Parkdale. You're watching CTV News at 5. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam. Current temperature -16, and it is windy out there. Time now for a look ahead to CTV News at 6. Here's Patricia Bull.
Thanks, Steph. Here's what we're working on for 6 o'clock.
So I looked out on my balcony, saw a bunch of cops all over my street.
We will have the latest on the homicide investigation in the Carlington neighbourhood. 2 people now facing murder charges after a man was stabbed to death.
This is where the impact happened and the wheel is bent.
Well, it's already a bumpy ride along some Ottawa roads with potholes emerging on many streets. We'll have the latest on the city's midwinter repair plan.
Gold went from $2,100 an ounce Canadian to today at almost $7,000 an ounce. So basically over 3 times the value.
Gold prices reaching new all-time highs with demand on the rise amid uncertainty in the global economy. We'll have more on the local impact. All of that and more is coming up tonight on CTV News at 6. That's right after the early edition of CTV National News with Sandy Ronaldo at 5:30. Steph.
Thank you, Patricia. Now the final 5 other stories we're following today. As Canadians continue to choose domestic travel over trips to the U.S., Porter Airlines is getting set to launch direct flights from Ottawa to 3 new Canadian destinations. Starting in May, the airline will begin offering non-stop flights from YOW to Windsor, Sudbury, and Kelowna. Porter is also increasing its direct flights between Ottawa and Winnipeg and will extend flights to Cancun through the summer. Ottawa bylaw officers were busy during Monday's daytime winter weather parking ban. It was in effect from 10 in the morning until 7 at night to help crews with cleanup operations after the latest snowstorm. Officers handed out more than 4,300 tickets, resulting in $455,000 in fines.
Definitely went up higher than I expected to.
Ottawa Police always puts out a good team, and so do we. Now, we've won more games than they have, so I'll just put that in there, but it's going to be another good game, and all the games have been close.
Ottawa Fire and Ottawa Police are gearing up for their annual matchup on the ice. They'll face off in the Siren Series on February 7th. The hockey game raises money for the Heart Institute, and to promote the event, Ottawa 67's players donned some firefighter gear this week, getting a taste of life as a first responder.
The center, here comes Giroux, with Stützle going to the net. Giroux scores! What a shot for Giroux! 3-1.
Go Sens go. It was a big night for the Ottawa Senators on home ice. They beat the league-leading Colorado Avalanche. Claude Giroux scored his 10th goal of the season in the third period. Ottawa added 2 more empty netters. The final score, 5-2. The Sens are back at home Saturday hosting the New Jersey Devils.
Then across now for Jenner!
It was also a good night for the Charge at TD Place. Ottawa's own Rebecca Leslie tied the game up. In the third period, the assist came from captain Brianne Jenner on her bobblehead night. And with less than 30 seconds left in the game, Leslie scored again, and Emily Clark scored another to seal the deal for a 4-2 win for the Charge. Ottawa plays again at home on Saturday against the Boston Fleet. That is CTV News at 5. I'm Stefan Keys. Be sure to join Patricia Bull for CTV News at 6. Thanks for watching.